Alright, we are in game 2. This game is going to be brought to you by Twix. I'll occasionally be eating a Twix. Not actually brought to you by Twix. I'm just going to occasionally be eating a Twix. Like this, watch. This is it.
Glaciers.
This is me occasionally eating a Twix. Now Twix should send me money. Or Twix. I don't really care. Twix. It's what I'm eating. I'm also drinking water. So. That's where we're at, guys.
Silhouette.
God damn it, people stop sending me IMs. I'm casting, I'm not playing.
Puppet Master.
I will say, Twix is a terrible choice because all of this goddamn caramel makes it much harder to talk. So I seem to have stopped a little bit. Anyway, we have game 2 now. It's fun. I idealize, like, I don't know, I do like solo cast sometimes. I don't like it generally, but I was like, hey, I feel like doing a solo cast today, kind of. And then you quickly realize why you don't like solo cast. It's fine. Love you guys. Please don't leave me. First couple of bans. Ophelia Pharaoh for Gisman, Swiftblade, and Revenant for the Hellborn side. So, weird. Pharaoh ban, obviously, Saxy Scal did very, very well with that hero last game. I'm not really sure if it's worth an early ban, but hey. I also managed to pick up the Revenant ban on Swiss Fusion side, which is also strange. And I'm not sure if Solaire really a Revenant notorious team. I don't remember them being really, really into that hero, but instead, they have Cthulhuphant. That's dangerous. They did give up Kraken, but then they got the Parasite. So, Legion side have a really, really strong draft for just those first 2 picks. And Kennendorf loves to play Silhouette, and he plays it quite well. So, I'm afraid of Twisted Fusion a little bit. On the other hand, that the Kraken, Glacius, and Puppet Master, not bad. I mean, that's certainly the makings of a very strong lineup. I'd like to see how they augment it. But at this point, I'm... I think I favor Legion's draft just a little bit, but Hellborn certainly have plenty of strength. Okay, really?
Prisoner.
You got 4th picked a Magnus? Nobody banned Magnus in the 2nd? Really? Oh, that seems iffy to me. Legion side's bans were Nymphora, Tempest, and Legionnaire, so trying to lock down the extra junglers and prevent Twisted Fusion from running one. Not that they really seem to do that too much. I mean, there was a Swiftblade, sort of a roaming Swiftblade last game, but... still, it's a solid ban out. They banned 2nd support in Nymphora as well, which can be annoying with the amount of map presence she can grant. Hellborn taking out Bubbles, Rhapsody, and Empath, so taking out a couple of strong supports and a good laner, but I really have to imagine that Bubbles ban would have been much better used on Magnus. Magnus is just, I think, a better hero than Bubbles. I mean, he does similar stuff. Not quite as strong in the suicide, maybe? I don't know. I mean, honestly, Magnus is a good suicide, and I think maybe Bubbles is a little bit overhyped as a suicide, so I'm not even sure if that's true. Definitely he's a better mid. He's a better team fighter, better ganker. I don't see too many situations in which I'd rather have a Bubbles over a Magnus. Perhaps the only one being if I already have 3 cores that are 2 or 3 cores that are relatively greedy. I feel like Bubbles is a little bit less greedy than Magnus when it comes to items, but even Magnus doesn't need that much, so I don't know. I don't think that's the greatest. And besides which, they already had a Cthulhuphant, so they're looking for a mid laner anyway. Bubbles not really a great fit as the mid lane hero. Obviously, Cthulhuphant's not jungling when they have a Parasite, so Bubbles ban is very, very odd to me. Well, they do finish off a Legion side's draft with the Engineer, so we're going to see the Mag-Engie combo in the middle lane. Obviously, very, very powerful, and should be difficult to deal with for what I assume is going to be a dual lane Kraken Glacius? No, Suicide Kraken. Prisoner Glacius. Okay. Well, Prisoner Voodoo. I actually like the Prisoner Voodoo, yeah. I like this better. I like Glacius top. Yeah, so that's a solid lane actually. So yeah, Hellborn's finishing off their draft with Prisoner and Voodoo Jester. Voodoo Jester, a hero I like a lot. I think that this is one that needs a lot more support, or needs to be seen a lot more. The support in general is a role that seems to be dominated by very, very few heroes. Rhapsody, Empath, Glacius, Torturer, Engineer probably account for like 80 to 90% of support games. It's kind of ridiculous how often those heroes are picked. Very rarely do you see teams that consistently run a support hero that is not one of those heroes. Voodoo Jester, just one that we've only seen a few times, and I think that he's definitely got more of a place than what we've seen so far. His ultimate is actually somewhat similar to Glacius's. Glacius doing magic damage, Voodoo Jester doing physical damage. Glacius can do more immediate damage in AoE. Voodoo Jester takes longer to do his damage, but he's also physical, which in some ways is better. It gives a solid counter, and of course he can channel not in the middle of his damage. So if he gets solid position, he can drop his ward in the middle of a lane, and it can do a whole crap ton of damage. So that, on top of the Curse Ground, which can be a very, very powerful spell. The Cask, when used appropriately, extremely good. Even the heal and slash dot damage can be very, very powerful. So Jester, hero with 4 strong spells, fits the support role well, and a role that we see a little bit too much sameness in my opinion. So I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more Voodoo Jester, and hopefully Celine, what am I even talking about? Slot Plays will do well with that hero this game, and everybody else will pick it up. Meantime, though, Glacius not going to get hit by the Cake Stun, and we'll just get a couple of auto attacks in there. Parasite going with the Boots first option, so getting a little bit aggressive, and we're actually see the pseudo tri-lane, so it won't be a mag NG mid, it'll just be a solo mag, which is a little bit iffy in my opinion. I think Kraken can do this just fine. Magnus a little squishier than Kraken in general. His Lava Surge not super helpful, and especially against a hero like Prisoner. Magnus hates Prisoner. Shackle prevents him from Lava Surging. It makes him visible during his steam bath, basically negates the purpose of that skill. So as far as counters go, Prisoner's a great one, and he's actually so good, I wouldn't mind seeing this Voodoo Jester rotate even to the bottom lane, or the top, run his defensive Tron or something like that. Prisoner does not need Magnus here, or at least shouldn't. So maybe Jester spots Prisoner in early lead and then leaves, but I would kind of hope Jester does not just hang out here for the entirety of the laning phase, because I don't think it's necessary. They can basically just prevent Jismin from getting too much in terms of CS, get Prisoner a super early lead, and then go assist one of the other lanes. And so they think, again, this is such weird lanes from Legion. I really don't like it. And top lane, they're going to have some trouble, actually. Glacius, one more auto attack will be enough. Yeah, that's going to be a kill. So Puppet Master as well going to get trapped by the Skeleton King. And we'll see if they have damage to take him out. They're going to be able to put the Leech down. A couple more auto attacks will finish her off. Yep, that's going to be another kill. Silhouette taking a lot of tower damage, will eat the tree and just barely gets away. Parasite trying to take the tower aggro, didn't really do it. So played more, or Silhouette ran out of tower range. But Kendorf with a double tap right off the bat. And that's pretty impressive, and it's obviously going to help them quite a lot in terms of their ability to win this top lane up against the dual lane of Glacius and Puppet Master, which is a pretty mediocre dual lane. It's really not all that great. It's not especially or substantially better than you know, any random combination of heroes. But I mean, they're foregoing the awesome suicide potential of Cthulhu to put him in the bottom lane, which is actually losing, which is not all that surprising. I mean, Kraken's a very, very strong 1v1 laner, especially against a solo melee hero. So Kraken not only winning this lane already, but he's also going to get lane control here, at least for now. We'll see how long that lasts, but for the meantime, Kraken will be putting the torrent down, and perhaps looking for a charge as well. Trample away as Cthulhu's realizing pretty quickly he's in some trouble. Will be also forced to take a health bot, but Elephant now going to be out of mana. Won't be able to use the Hook'em, and that's going to be a problem. He's going to have issues laning against this Kraken now. And sort of trying to do some damage. And this is a CS there as a result. So Army of Mums at 210 gold per minute. Saxy Scale at 284 gold per minute. In the lane, that Silhouette by herself probably would have won pretty handily, actually. So I feel like if they had just done a traditional lane with Magnus Engineer mid, Magnus is getting absolutely destroyed by this Prisoner, and that's not a huge surprise at all, considering A, the dual lane, and B, the fact that Prisoner just generally wipes the floor with Magnus. You put the traditional Suicide Elephant top, who would probably kill the Glacius, actually, probably once or twice, or at least do very, very well in this lane. and Silhouette in the bottom lane gets farmed. So I feel like this laning decision, the general, their choices have been very, very poor. Hellborn, meantime, have made the traditional choices, and it's worked out quite well for them. The gold lead is relatively even. Legion side has a bit of an experience advantage, but that's essentially what you would expect, considering, you know, there's a jungler on one side and there is no jungler on the other side. Middle lane, actually, Prisoner going to be in some trouble. Takes the keg stun. Turret, not the greatest position. And Parasite going to have to pop out of the Hunter. Gets the leech off, but Jester's coming in here for backup. Has the cast. That will bounce around to just Prisoner, or sorry, Parasite and Engineer. And that looks like it will be the end of that. And I forgot to switch the overlay, didn't I? It only took me 4.5. Yep. Yes. Thank you, Twitch chat. I actually realized it a half a second before you said anything, so it's still on me. Now there's enough delay, so you might think it was you, but it was not. It was me. I figured it out. Middle lane, Hook will connect onto Magmus a little bit late on the Shackle, doesn't matter too much, and the Curse Ground misses, but this is actually not going to be enough damage. He'll counter with a Lava Surge, Kegstun coming in through as well. They're going to try to turn this onto Voodoo Jester. They're going to get the one kill. The question is Prisoner going to get the counter kill onto Magmus? Looks like no. Prisoner now looking for the ball and chain on Magmus, but once again, too much damage on health on Magmus, and they'll actually get the counter kill onto him as well, so pretty fantastic counter there. And very, very good timing from Engineer and Parasite. The haste rune from Engie was extremely fortuitous. And that will end up with them getting a double tap on to, who's that? Noob? Stand March. Not bad. Noob doesn't even have any kills. What am I talking about? Well, 6 moves in, and as things went last game for Twisted Fusions, so things go here for Solaire Club. And SolC taking a pretty solid early lead. Solaire has transitioned to the bottom lane now, and they switch this back up to more or less what it should be. I still think Engie should be mid, because Silhouette can do just fine in this lane. First guy going to go on Sil. Eggstun's going to connect onto Voodoo Jester, and that's going to be enough damage for the hit there. First gun really not going to do enough to kill the Silhouette. In the meantime, Kraken now could be in some trouble, getting chased down by Parasite, but they don't really have anything else to lock him down. They've got the leech if Parasite wants to jump out of the creep, but I don't think they're going to be able to have enough damage at all to kill this Kraken. He actually doesn't have charge, which is pretty surprising, but we'll pick up a regen rune. Doesn't last very long, but he steals it from the Legion team. And top lane, Cthulhu can sort of retreat to the Hellborn Woods, as the Hokum allows him some CS ability. So 331 GPM on Kandorf is actually the highest GPM in the game, which is not particularly impressive, but the rest of his team all sitting around that 185 to 215 GPM mark, which isn't bad for the supports, but it's really kind of bad for the mids and the solos.
I'm free at last!
It looks like Prisoner's free at last, and they're going to bring Magmus back, and that's going to be an easy kill. No, it's not! They do not have enough damage, and the Lava Surge goes through. Trample away from Cthulhu will take the stun from the Paralyzing Cast, and that's going to be the end of that. Meantime, no, it's not going to be the end of that yet, as Lava Surge is there. Magmus trying to save his buddy, but is it going to work? Let's get the Shackle onto Mag, but there's so much lockdown. Yeah, Mag's totally screwed, so Cthulhu ends up getting away, but that's going to be the end of that. And in the bottom lane, meanwhile, Army of no, god damn it. What's his face? Cannondorf killed Saxy Scowl on the Magmus, or not on the Kraken. God damn it, words are hard. And we're at 8 minutes in, which means it's time for a nice ad break with Twix, where I eat a Twix. Anyway, Kraken gonna die.
5-kill stud.
See? Advertisements ruin games. Oh no, army bombs died in the top lane. Let's go look at that.
I'm free at last.
Prisoner's apparently free at last somewhere. Anyway.
You will not.
There we go. TwFu dead.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
Exactly, Stu. Apparently Twitch does run ads on my channel, which I suppose is their prerogative. They're providing the platform to do all this streaming, which is great. But it feels like you should automatically get monies if you're going to be providing the content. I don't want all of the ad dollars, I'm just saying give me some of it. Twix, give me money. I'm eating Twix live on stream. I bet you that out of the 12 people that are watching right now, and the probably 5 or 10 more that's going to watch on VODs, 1 or 2 of them will be like, I want a Twix. So that's probably what, like, $1. And so give me like 20 cents. That's probably like your entire profit. Okay, give me like 5 cents. I think I've earned it. Anyway, 7-2 hero kill advantage here for Solaire Club, and Cannondorf off to a really strong start on a hero he knows quite well. Noob McNoob doing very well on the Parasite, but nobody else on the Legion side is doing well at all, under 200 GPM. On the other hand, as you can see from the GPM chart, mostly the Hellborn side is kind of crapping the bed as well. Only 2 people who are farming even decently are the Prisoner and the Puppet, and considering how well Prisoner started, and the start here is essentially spotted, that's kind of terrible. Ultimate from Prisoner actually is immediately broken. Shackle was not quick enough, and it's not going to do anything after that. Mag was just dragging a rake around, doesn't even care. And middle lane, we'll see a small group up Glacius rotating over, but we're decided to believe spotted him. So, stand march, not bad. Legion side realizing Glacius is left, are going to respond with a jump of their own, it looks like. Obviously, Mag was no portal key quite yet, so Hellborn side will need to push up a little bit if they want to turn this into kills. And NG and Mag, at least it looks like, are going to hang out for the time being, while TwFu heads to the top lane to grab some CS because he really needs to increase his GPM from where it is right now. And I think Cannondorf probably needs to spend less time sitting in the well and more time farming things because her team isn't farming all that efficiently. But she's going to port mid. And this seems kind of iffy, like, so it's not doing anything. She's 5-0-0, which is great, but like, nothing's actually happening. And meantime, top lane, Puppet Master is just sitting here going, okay, I'll farm. You guys don't want to farm, I'll farm. Works for me. But the rest of the Legion side is going to jump mid, so it looks like it's going to be a tower kill in the middle lane, pretty much no matter what the Hellborn decide to do about it. They do pop the Glyph, and Elephant and Parasite running forward a little bit. Silhouette will grab the tree grapple, easy kill. It looks like they're going to turn this on a Silhouette, or kill TwFu first, and he's probably going to die regardless of what happens thanks to first round, but they do manage to kill Voodoo Jester in the beginning anyway. There goes Silhouette, or sorry, not Silhouette, TwFu, as well as Puppet Master, who just got destroyed. I'm not even sure by what. 986 health, but I guess it was Parasite. Yep, and Silhouette Fake is in the middle of this as Kraken taking some damage, but not enough, so Legion side come out with 2 hero kills and 1 death, but they also pick off a mid tier 1 tower, so in the end, pretty solid fight back from them. Engineer going to counter this ward in the middle lane, also not bad. Good stuff. And NG now could be in a lot of trouble. He gets hit by the Wither Crack on the mines. Yes! Mine's number 1. Glacius also going to get spotted. True Grapple goes through. They're going to counter this ward. And it looks like that'll be it. Hook is not going to connect on anything. Nice Lava Surge away. Cask will be taken, but I don't think they're going to be able to get the Shackle off. Prisoner's pretty interested in doing this, but that's not going to be anything. Trap on the background onto 2. Looks like Slot and Wardcat both going to die as the supports get killed. They stand right next to each other. Parasite can have to do some hero blocking if they want this. He puts the face hug down in the beginning. Leech is there. Now there's a Lava Surge, and Prisoner going to be totally screwed. So apparently he put the taunt down onto Madman. Magnus. That was a poor decision. Parasite will take over the Ballista, and they're looking to turn this into a tier 2 bot tower kill, which will happen as this tower is already extremely low. Nothing the Hellborn side can do about that. They don't even have any ultimates at this point except the Voodoo Puppet. As both supports are still level 5. 14.5 minutes in, neither support has an ultimate available, and they're both reasonably powerful ultimates if placed correctly, so that's a significant amount of damage that they were counting on having by now, and they have not seen any of it yet. Looking at the hero damage, yeah, that's mostly why. Puppet Master, of course, at the lowest, but he's just been sitting top farming, so it's not like it's that big a deal. And she will triple stack the Ancients. And Glacius, I think this Ward of Sight hits, or the Ward of Rev hits this Ward of Sight, but probably a little bit afraid to counter it. He's hanging out like he can see it. Yeah. So, we'll get the safe counter ward off, not bad. Prisoner going to remain in the middle lane. A little accidental rhyme there. How fun. Top lane, NG continuing to mine shit, because it's funny. He should be blocking these camps, because like you can, there's a thing, I turn my mouse cursor off, but there's a thing like in between these trees in the river. You can mine right there and it'll block the camp. And people almost never realize where that is, so it's very funny. Anyway, Magma's going to take out the triple stacked Ancients. That'll get him real close to his portal key, as he hasn't killed any of the Dragon Masters yet. And after all of them are done, he's about 300 gold away. Not bad. Considering how awful his start was, he's currently up to 300 gold per minute, and it's not a terrible PK timing, especially considering, once again, he was completely shut down in the early part of this lane. He's actually a higher GPM than the Prisoner now, which is borderline unacceptable. Considering A, Prisoner should normally crush Magnus in that lane no matter what, and B, he was spot on an excellent start by having the dual lane up with Voodoo Jester. Cthulhu Fight gonna get the Shackle off, and there's a Curse Round as well. Ultimate from Voodoo Jester immediately cancelled. I think Cthulhu Fight's fucked. The question is, will they get any counter kills? Voodoo Puppet on a Parasite actually, and he's gonna die. So he puts out the Puzzle Box Mauler, and no, in fact, Cthulhu Fight will be fine. It seems like he just barely lived through that. Now Cannondorf is in. And he's going to take the stun from the Jester, but the Release Kraken really not doing very much. Shackle is going to lock down Magnus. He's unable to do too much of anything. Going to have to get out of this. Puzzle Box Mauler doing a lot, and it looks like Cannondorf is already ported out to the Illusion, so he won't be in too much trouble. Torrent disjointed by the Steam Bath. Keg stun on top of the Voodoo Jester. In the meantime, Cannondorf managing to finish off Slop Leads on the Voodoo Jester up top, so the side ends up finishing with a couple of kills after they lose their Parasite. And in the end, probably take an advantageous engagement, considering Cannondorf now has 470 GPM and is 8-0-1. But 15-5 hero kill advantage for Solaire Club, and they're pretty substantially ahead. Not quite as far ahead as Twisted Fusion was at a pretty similar point last game. In fact, I think last game this was already over. It's a 15. It was almost a 16-minute game or something like that, right? Yeah. So. Top lane, Puppet Master kind of hanging out, and we'll pop the Assassin Shroud, run away, but there's a Ward of Rev, they're going to see him! Oh no, Cthulhu can get the trample onto both Ward of Rev from the Hellborn side as well. Looks like Elephant going to be in a lot of trouble as well. Man, he's getting wrecked. Ultimate from Voodoo Jester, pretty much completely unnecessary considering the Puppet ultimate was there as well, but I guess that's not that big a deal. Nullstone on Solo, it hasn't even been cancelled. Yes, there's no way that they're going to turn this into a kill. Shackle or Torrent will be eaten, I think, and the other one is going to allow her to get away, but you have to be a little bit careful with the grapple here, actually. I think they're trying to go on the prisoner. No, they won't get it, and Handorf is gone. Of course, that's just a fake, so it's fine. Stu, why do you have to make fun of me? It hurts my feelings. I'm not a robot. Top lane eruption going through as Magnus has managed to pick up his portal key. Glacius not going to survive. Is he going to live? He's not going to live. Will this Kraken onto two? Oh my god. That was well played. Prisoner ultimate, or prisoner hook right into the Kraken ultimate, and that's some pretty fantastic synergy right there. Puzzle box Smaller looking to try to take on this Voodoo Jester, and actually Puppet's the one that takes it, and he takes the ultimate from Engineer as well, so trying to save his support, ends up killing himself, and it looks like he's not going to be able to kill or save the support as Jester's going to die. The Relentless Salvo providing just enough damage to kill him. And Kraken trying to port away, looks like that will be successful, so they kill the top tower finally, as their original mission is a success. And they end up coming out with a few more kills on top of it. They did just go 2 and 3 over the last couple of engagements, but not the worst. So, 17-8 hero kill advantage for Solaire Club, and they're continuing to slightly increase their lead, but may even go faster now that they've managed to take out all Tier 1 towers. That's going to open up a fair bit of map control for them, and for their own part, they have lost 0 towers, so not bad times at all. Top tower is very, very low and deniable, in fact. I'm kind of surprised they haven't taken it out yet, but I guess they want to bait it or something. Not sure. In my opinion, you probably just deny that tower, especially because the top Tier 1 tower is very not valuable. I think the Tier 2 tower on top probably the only one that's less valuable than that, because really, even as a destination to port to, it's not that great. Just deny it. Now you've already gotten it lower, just deny it. I think they're discussing whether or not to thank you. Middle lane tower is pretty well alive, and in the bot lane has taken absolutely no damage, so Solaire Club killing their first tower, or Hellborn side getting their first tower, and Solaire Club losing their first tower, but obviously intentionally so. So Solaire jumping in with her new portal key. Gonna jump right back out to her illusion, realizing quickly that there are too many heroes there to easily kill the Jester. But both the Jester and the Glacius, no way to get away from the Silhouette if they're on their own and they get jumped, because either the freeze or the cask, the only thing that could realistically prevent them from dying, will be eaten by the Nullstone. So, Syl's Nullstone going to have a lot of utility in this game, and will perhaps allow her to get some pretty easy solo pickoffs. And we'll see what the Hellborn decide to go for. Puppet did go for the Helm after the Shroud, which is a little bit interesting. You usually see people get the Whispering Helm first because it's a bit more of a steroid farming type item, and then the Shroud second, but I guess figuring he wants to be active more so, as he was last game, but, you know, last game a bit of a different situation. They had a massive kill advantage early, so that made more sense. This time, nobody really has a ton of farm, so it made a lot more sense, I think, to go for the Helm first. Gets a little bit more GPM up so that they could do some stuff in these team fights instead of getting wrecked by a team that's got a lot more resources than they do. But hopefully Puppet will be able to recover a fair bit with that Whispering Helm and stack the Ancients and such. Doesn't seem to have taken over a creep, as there's nothing near the Ancients, but Hellborn have a Word of Rev up on this tower, and they really want to kill that Word of Sight. But Legion are like, no. It's got 2 more hits. You got it, Jester. I believe in you. Yay. Legion side, after their adventure in the Hellborn Woods, looks like they'll be retreating. Cthulhu's going to stick around for a while and kill a couple of stacks, which were presumably put there for Puppet Master. That's the other thing is, you know, they have a dual support lineup here on the Hellborn team, and they're going up against Jungler, and that's generally not an easy thing to do. For the most part, Junglers do give you an inherent advantage. That might not be the case in this situation if they would consistently stack for PM and he had gotten a Whispering Helm. Puppet could easily be at 500 gold per minute right now if they had played this appropriately, even if he is 1, 3, and 4. But instead, it didn't seem like they did. In the meantime, Jester going to be in a lot of trouble. They put the Curse Crown onto Silhouette, but she's not going to take really many more damage. pull back in onto Parasite, and he's going to die. They also kill the illusion from Silhouette, and also going to take a lot of damage thanks to the Curse Ground. He's probably going to die in the background. Stand March and Noob McNoob on these supports. Both die on Parasite as well. Eruption going off the background. They managed to go Ward Cat on the Hellborn side. Army of Bums and Cthulhu also dead. Here comes Magmus. He's going to fall. And somehow Cannondorf managed to get out of that. I was kind of surprised. I felt like he took enough damage from the Curse Ground to kill him. But Hellborn with a pretty fantastic fight as they pick Parasite off really, really early. And right into the Engineer, who did not get the energy field off, which was a big deal. So Solaire Club giving some stuff back, and actually they have a deficit in experience now. So, not great times. And so again, this ad break brought to you by Twix. Alright, that's one of the Twix bars gone. I'll save the other one for later. Or for Game 3 if Solaire Club managed to hold on to their lead. Meantime, though, looks like they're getting relatively passive. I think after they lose in that team fight, they are a little bit spooked. Sort of figured they had a better lead than that, and not really embracing the loss of that engagement. Invis Prisoner running around, and Invis Puppet Master is here as well. We'll see if they actually turn this on to anything. They sort of want this elephant, but yeah. He's pretty tanky, and they don't feel confident in their ability to kill him. I'm sure they could have if they had set that up even decently, but won't be able to get it. I believe that's a Puzzle Box 3 on Parasite. Scratch Raider GPM. Anyway, Engineer gonna get in some trouble. Kegson, but the Shrunken Head is there and just destroyed. So also eats the mine. Not bad. So I believe that was a 10-second Shrunken from Prisoner. I don't think I've seen him have it before, but yeah, that was a 10-second Shrunken. But it gets him a free kill. Not bad. I'm sure he'll take it. Chester gonna get hit by a couple of mines, but he will be all right. And Silhouette running right into the Invis Puppet Master. I think that's the fake. Yeah, that's the real one. Yeah. So, backdooring towers? No? Yes? Glyph of Fortification? Gonna kill the thing? I think they're... Wow. Really?
Hellborn Tower.
They couldn't... I mean, I guess level 16 Silhouette, so she does... She deals and takes 100% damage, so... Yeah, maybe they couldn't deny it, but it felt like there was definitely an opportunity there. It got pretty damn low. I think Calasius just missed it. Ah, well. I will give them credit. Both supports have recovered quite a lot on levels. They're not out-leveling the opposing team's hard support. Stand March only level 9. Both of them are level 10. And they'll have level 2 ultimates relatively soon if that continues. Which is going to be a fairly big deal. And Parasite in this bottom lane, going to get jumped. Release the Kraken right on his face, but he's going to run straight through it because it's Parasite, and he's fine. Anyway, they're going to turn this on to him with the Puppet Show, and he will die. Eruption coming through, and they finally kill Parasite. Took forever, but Cthulhu's going to charge through. They will get a couple of kills right off the bat. 3, in fact, as both the supports as well as the Puppet Master die. Ultimate Prisoner will hit on Cthulhu, but the Ream of Madness is there in the background. Solo trying to finish off this Prisoner. And are they going to get the kill? Yes, they are. Off to the side. It's Kraken, who's still trying to get away, has the portal key there, and he will be fine. So it ends up being a 4-for-1 as they lose the Parasite, but a response from the Legion team is fantastic. Their counter initiation just perfect, and they bring the teleports as well to that Tier 1 bot, which had not been killed 28 minutes in. Right there, that's the value of towers. Map control. If that tower's dead, it's a pick on Parasite and probably a roam into the Legion Woods. Instead, the Hellborn side basically get genocided. And Kraken is going to be in some trouble, actually. Cass going to start bouncing around, and he's going to die. Ultimate from Voodoo Jester will help finish off this Elephant. There's no way he's living through this, yeah. And actually, he just dies even in range of the Death Ward, or the Death Ward's in Dota. What's it called in this game? Spirit Ward. I don't even play Dota. I just watch it occasionally. Anyway, top lane. NG might get jumped on here. We got a port coming in. Puppet Master is gonna... Yeah, you're gonna be in trouble, Mr. Engineer. Yeah, don't even need the ultimate. Last auto attack, we'll finish him off.
Backhanded.
Sad times, but that's what happens when you're farming this far up on a solo support engineer with absolutely no vision. You really shouldn't expect to live through that, so... Stand March getting a bit greedy. And Silhouette is level 18, man. I guess Puppet's level 17, so not that big a deal. Magnus also 16, so 2 level 2 ultimate, level 3 ultimates on this Legion team. They're going to try to pick off the Puppet. They will get the dust off, and he's going to get silenced. That's going to be a pretty easy kill. So Canada 14-0-2. One more kill. He's an immortal, which is kind of shocking. Instead, they're going to try to stop this. Release Kraken right on his face. He's going to swap out to the Illusion, though, and he's just completely gone. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back in here. Yeah, he's going to turn this around, looking for something, perhaps on the Voodoo Jester. Gets frozen. He's going to need to swap back out, though, and he's going to die! The greedy play, and they punished him for it. The Bloodbath streak ends 1 kill away from an immortal. That's got to be a little bit salty. Engineer Mind's going to get dropped, but it's Shrunken Head immediately. Puppet Man dropped, and Prisoner going to get the easy kill onto the Engineer. Hookback not going to hit the Magnus. I think he probably wouldn't have gotten hit anyway, but the Lava Surge is away just fine. I don't think they really had to drop the Voodoo Ward and the Prisoner ultimate there to kill just an Engineer, but oh well. Now no Shrunken Head up on Prisoner, though. He's going to get frozen on the Parasite. Cthulhu going to charge forward, actually hits the Parasite creep, who he finally pops out of, helps the Shackle as well. Curse Crown goes down, but Magnus is in. He's looking for a kill on one of these two supports at least. Jester and Glacius both low. Jester going to not even die yet. Noob McNeil with the Parasite dying in the background as Dream of Madness gets popped. Elephant now trying to get away. Lava Surge will finish off Glacius, and it looks like Cthulhu could live. Yep, he gets the portal key on away, and he will be just fine. Actually, they did manage to finish off the Glacius, the Voodoo Jester as well, and now Magnus could be in some trouble. He does port away. Is he going to get stopped? No, he's in the trees, so didn't have enough vision, and they could not manage to stop his teleport. So they do manage to kill both the Hellborn supports, but again, losing the Bloodbath streak on Canador, pretty huge. And actually, who got that kill? Celine on the Prisoner, so not bad. Gonna get him back up there in the GPM Church, 315 gold per minute, and he's once again ahead of the Magnus. So, Solaire Club, still in a bit of a lead, but not a substantial, not too much of one anymore. 8.5k gold is nothing to shake a stick at, but, or you could, actually. I'm not in charge of what you shake sticks at. Either way, they're definitely ahead, but by no means unrecoverably ahead. Is that a word? Seems like it's probably a word. If it's not, I sort of just made it up. And actually, Canada are going to steal the opposing team's Ancients, which still have not been stacked. I'm reasonably certain that Puppet Master has not taken over a creep and not stacked the Ancients, which is kind of a problem. Meantime, Hellborn side going to move through their own woods, as they actually don't have too much vision. Something we haven't talked about, well, I haven't talked about at all this game, is pretty much ward vision right now. Hellborn side sitting at well, they just propped the ward aside in the middle lane. I was pretty sure they had none. They have wards of Rev all over the place. Cask is actually going to be disjointed. No, it continues to bounce, which is kind of interesting. I didn't even know it would do that. Meantime, though, Prisoner ultimate going to go off, but it's not going to hit on the Magnus, as he managed to get away. So Canada picking off Ward Cat on the support Glacius in the meantime. Didn't even see that, but I'm sure it took about half a second for him to die. As Canadorf now level 20, 15-1-2, and if he hadn't gotten greedy, that would have been an immortal. Pops a tree grapple. That'll give him some additional attack speed for a couple of attacks. And actually he's going to jump in on top of the Jester. Ultimate from Magnus is going to come through. Voodoo Puppet going to be there onto somebody. I assume that's Elephant. Yeah, they will be able to get that kill, but that's going to be it. Voodoo Jester just barely surviving, but they pick up both the Prisoner and the Kraken. The Kraken buying back. I was wondering why we only saw 2 deaths. But nope, Kraken with the buyback, and in fact don't even need it. But it's possible the Solaire Club was like, yeah, we're not going to push after the Kraken BB. Ganondorf, of course, has the Shield Breaker, so a bit of a greedy build as well. Another thing we haven't talked too much about items, so let's go over wards first. Hellborn side, basically sightless. They have a couple of Rev wards and one here in this middle lane. Legion side, not too much better. They have a pretty deep, aggressive ward of sight as well as ward of Rev, and a bottom rune ward, and a couple of wards of Rev. And items, something that we haven't talked about too much either, but Magnus sitting on Portal Key and Vestments, pretty much it. I'll see what he gets next. Actually, I'd like to see the Soul's Bulwark. They have a fair bit of magical damage on the Hellborn side. Prisoner with his one-man Riot, Puppet Master with all sorts of auto attacks, and Voodoo Jester's ultimate is all going to be mitigated by the Soul's Bulwark, so I'd like to see that on the Magnus, and of course there's the offensive aspect to it as well. Silhouette has gone for the Geometer's Bane on top of her Shieldbreaker, Portal Key, and Nullstone, so obviously substantial early farm. Those are just fakes, so it's not a big deal. Silhouette being the split-pushing, annoying hero that we all know she can be. And she's going to have some pretty serious damage output as a result of the Geo's Bane Shieldbreaker combination. She's relatively squishy, obviously, no Shrunken Head, but again, the magical damage and lockdown of the Hellborn team isn't huge. They've got a couple of abilities from Puppet, Paralyzing Cask, and the Ice Imprisonment, but other than that, no real stuns. So, and not all of those are stuns in the first place. Actually, no, Bulwark is on Elephant. What am I even talking about? So that's fine. Magnus picking up the Sheep Stick. That's also fine. They do have 2 Shrunken Heads on the Hellborn team, but of course he's got a Blink, so if he can get that off before the Shrunken Heads go off, especially on Puppet Master, it could be a pretty easy kill. So, Elephant going Portal Key, Bulwark, and Engineer has an Eye, Grave Locket, Striders, Power Supply, typical support items, Hellborn side, Portal Key, and Shrunken on Prisoner. He doesn't have anything else. I'm kind of surprised, actually. He's had that combo for... He's had the Shrunken for a long time. I guess the Portal Key might be new? Yeah, it must be. Kraken, PK himself, working on a Shrunken Head after the Helm of the Black Legion. No Vestments on him, which is kind of interesting considering they have a Parasite and a Engineer and a Magnus. So I wouldn't mind seeing him drop something for Vestments or keep the Vestments until he gets... He actually might have more effective health with the Vestments than he does with the Mighty Blade. I wouldn't be surprised. Either way, he'll have a Shrunken done soon, so it's not that big a deal. So Little Illusion's going to try to work down this tower some more. The tier 3 is just dropping. And Puppet Master's picked up a Shroud, Helm, and Shrunken. Again, pretty typical word items on both the supports. Voodoo Jester has managed to pick up an Astrolabe as well as Steam Boots. Glacier's still sitting on poor little red booties, so he's feeling sad. Has no upgraded boots. But no really ridiculous items on either side, as now you agree with most of them. You can see the logic behind pretty much all of them. I mean, Ganondorf might have gone a little bit aggressive with his build, but it's definitely working, so it's hard for me to criticize him going 16-1. And he's got items that are no doubt substantially contributing to that hero kill score. Picks up a DD rune. We'll head to the Ancients and steal them really quickly. I think Kongor should probably be in the works as well. There's a Bound Eye, of course, on the Engie, so he's going to be looking to D-ward. Meantime, Solaire going to jump in on top and immediate kill onto the Glacier. Just looks like they have some trouble on Kraken and Prisoner as well. Eruption from Magnus in the background, but the Shrunken Heads are up everywhere. They're going to be able to kill something finally. Yep. Both Prisoner and Kraken died about the same time. Puppet going to be in a lot of trouble. He's going to fall. And we'll see if they can finish up the Jester. Yep, that's going to be another kill. Genocide comes through. And the Legion side going to turn this into mid-max. Nobody on Hellborn has buyback. That's going to be mid-racks. That's going to be top-racks. That's going to be game. They can't stop this. Kraken ultimate is down, so even though Kraken has a buyback, he's not going to be able to do too much. Yeah, that's game. They're going to use the glyph. That's going to slow this down, but they still have 10 seconds before Glacius even responds. And yeah, Glacius against this team. If he steps out of the well, they got double Portal Key on Kraken, or Cthulhu Flint and Magnus. That's a dead Glacius if he gets close. And he knows it. So, That's mid racks. That's top racks.
Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
Bottom racks are being worked on as well. Yeah, Silhouette's just going through them by herself, and they're calling GG's. Yeah, that's appropriate. They're gonna have mega creeps before Puppet even comes back.
A Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
Well, that game ended very quickly as Solaire Club. Oh shoot, previous screen was wrong. It was saying Solaire Club won, but it was just a Twisted Fusion one. Anyway, Solaire Club gonna take game 2, so that's not really that surprising. It's definitely possible for them to beat Twisted Fusion. I guess it was more surprising that all of a sudden that game was over. But in the end, Canadorf with a pretty fantastic performance, 19-1-5, definitely contributing to why people call the one role a carry. But the rest of his team did very well as well. Also, let's see, very well as well. Also, and in addition, let's see how many more things I can add to that. 18 assists on Parasite, 13 on Cthulhuphant, 12 on Magnus, who is also 7-3. And the Hellborn side, once again, it's just the supports, man. Silhouette and Parasite against support heroes like that. 3-9, 2-7. I mean, I don't want to blame it on them because there's really not much that they can do. Like, they're gonna die a lot because those are the kind of heroes that can kill support super easily. So, either way, Twisted Fusion perhaps a little bit disappointed in Game 2 considering how dominant they looked in Game 1, unable to really carry the momentum through and take a serious sweep. So we will be going to Game 3, and that will be coming right up in a few moments. So see you guys then.